Hello everybody, my name is Regular Sauce and welcome to my personal top favourite games of 2021. This list will be my own personal opinions and I'll be covering both games that were released during 2021 and also games that I first properly played in 2021. Just a heads up guys, I haven't really had a chance to play too many games recently in the last month or so. It's been super hectic, so I haven't had a chance to get round to Halo and all those type of games that came out towards the end of the year. Even though from what I can tell, Halo's the only one worth really playing at the moment. Hopefully they'll appear on future lists. Jumping right in with the 2021 list, starting off with Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Before Mass Effect Legendary Edition was released earlier this year, I'd played maybe an hour or two of Mass Effect 2, and that's about it. This remaster of a classic and fan favourite trilogy opened my eyes to the Mass Effect universe and just how exciting these games were, making me wish I'd played them earlier. I've yet to finish this entire trilogy, but it's high up on my games to complete in 2022, and I can't wait to get straight back into the role of Shepard. This game is a must play for any sci-fi or RPG fans, and provides you over 100 hours of content across the 3 spectacular games included. I would highly recommend checking this one out. Next up we have a game I only played through during late October, and that is the brilliant Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on the PlayStation 5. The first 3 Ratchet & Clank games were some of my fondest memories back on the PS2, and finally getting back into these games brought back some intense nostalgia and excitement for almost everything in Rift Apart. This game takes full advantage of all the next-gen and PS5 specific features, such as the adaptive triggers while shooting, instantaneous transitions between wildly different and varied locations and landscapes, and even 4K with ray tracing enabled. This game is the ultimate showcase of the PS5's prowess and incredibly enjoyable at the same time. I had a ball playing this game all the way from start to finish.
Where are you taking me?
I was gonna take you to my hideout, but first I gotta rescue my friends at their gelatonium factory.
This next one kind of came out of nowhere for me, but I was super glad I found it. And that game is Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. I made a short little video on this game while I was super into it if you're interested in hearing me talk more about it. This game reminds me strongly of a Pokemon game, but with improved mechanics and graphics, as well as voiced characters and animated cutscenes. Due to the Pokemon-like nature of this game, I actually opted to play it on Switch instead of PC, so that I could play it in handheld like back in the day with the old Pokemon games. I had so much fun playing this game and collecting monsters from previous Monster Hunter games, all of which look absolutely awesome. So if a kind of different take on a Pokemon style game really interests you, or you're super into collecting monsters and creatures, check this game out because it's honestly pretty exciting. Resident Evil Village is the first Resident Evil game that I've ever properly played, and my god, I loved it so much. The beautiful environment and setting of the game, paired with the phenomenal graphics and the constant fear and dread whilst playing, really made this game stand out as one of my favourites for the year, and definitely had me wanting to go back to older Resident Evil games. If you're at all into horror or suspense-filled games that are also crazy immersive, this game is definitely one to play at 3 AM in the dark with the lights off, and I'll definitely be keeping my eyes on any future Resident Evil releases from now on.
Hey! What the?
The last game of my 2021 specific list was actually given to me for free as a review code, and that game was Chernobylite. I had checked out this game a year or two ago in early access, and then forgot it existed completely until then. Upon playing and reviewing the game, link in the description below, I had an absolute ball in this Stalker/Metro inspired Chernobyl disaster zone based game. All of the assets are 3D scans, so the game looks pretty phenomenal. It includes various zones in which you can collect resources for base building, surviving, and progressing in the story. This game definitely flew under the radar a little, but I would highly recommend checking it out if you're into anything post-apocalyptic, Stalker, Metro, anything like that.
What was that?
Now there is a lot of new games I did not get around to playing this year, and I'm sure they will appear in lists in the future, but these are the 5 2021 games that I really enjoyed this year. Now we're going to move on to the non-2021 specific games. This first game took me through the second half of the New South Wales lockdown this year, and that game is Persona 4 Golden. By far the oldest game on this list, but also now possibly one of my favourite RPGs I've ever played. This JRPG was originally a PS2 game, but has been re-released on the PC back in 2020 with slightly updated textures and resolutions, but this incredibly long and in-depth game allows you to balance the life of a regular high schooler whilst also taking on the evil of a different land inside the TV, which is causing people to die. It sounds like a bit of a random concept, but once you get into it, it's honestly so much fun. The bonds you build with your friends and team in this game honestly draws you in and makes you feel like you're fully living the life of your character. I enjoyed this game 10 times more than I expected when I picked it up.
You're wide open! Enemy down! Great work, Yukiko-senpai! Enemy down! Alright, guys! Okay.
The next game was my first experience with the Monster Hunter universe, and that game was Monster Hunter World. I've owned this game for a while, but never really got around to playing it until lockdown this year, in which I got pretty addicted to it for a few weeks, and even reviewed the game, link in the description. The gameplay loop of hunting monsters to get parts to upgrade your equipment in order to hunt and take down stronger monsters, and so on, can get addictive and really keep you coming back for more with the promise of cooler looking armor and stronger and more dangerous monsters to face. This game is also the reason that Monster Hunter Stories 2 appeared on my radar, as it was released around the same time I was playing this game. A controversial pick up next, that being The Last of Us 2. I'd finally got around to playing The Last of Us 1 a few years ago and loved it. When The Last of Us 2 came out, I didn't jump on it because of the controversy it received, and so I was in no rush to play it. When I finally got the game in October of this year, I started to play it, and despite having not finished it yet, I'm really enjoying the gameplay, the story, and the suspenseful feeling of it all. I understand the problem with the game, but so far I've been having a good time playing through as Ellie and exploring the fantastic overgrown post-apocalyptic world, one of my favourite settings of all time.
I got her! We're not going back, understand?
Follow me!
Oh, God.
Isaac can go to hell!
The last game that I played, and am still playing as we speak, is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I've recently watched Dragon Ball Super, which has brought me back to my childhood and my obsession with Dragon Ball Z. So when I decided to rewatch Dragon Ball Z, I came to the realization that it is currently nowhere to be found on any streaming site here in Australia. And this is where I would put a VPN sponsorship if I had one. So after finding this out, I decided to start playing Kakarot, an open world Dragon Ball Z game that follows the story of the Dragon Ball Z anime, complete with voice acting and awesome looking cutscenes. This game is really helping to scratch that Dragon Ball itch for me, and I'm really enjoying reliving my childhood memories through this game. It is probably one of the best ways to re-experience the Dragon Ball Z story.
I'll blow you and this entire planet to smithereens! Come on, buddy. Don't fail me now. Kaioken times 3! And now, for a Kamehameha!
And I'm going to finish it off with a few honourable mentions for this year. These are the games that I played for quite a bit, but didn't fully make it into my top list. The first game is Dauntless, a free-to-play Monster Hunter-ish game that I played during the beginning of the lockdown this year with a few friends to kill time. Despite not being the best game of all time, it's actually the game that got me onto Monster Hunter World, and I was pretty addicted to it for a week or two, so shout out to Dauntless. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond helped me relive my childhood memories of Pokemon Diamond on the DS, but I did find myself struggling to stay motivated to play it after about halfway through the game. Lastly, we have Valheim, which is an amazing procedural and open world survival game that I played with some friends at the beginning of the year when it came out, but I did find myself get bored of it relatively quickly and haven't really felt any desire to go back to it. Anyway guys, they were my top personal favourite games of 2021. Please leave a comment down below on what your favourite games this year were. There is so many that came out, so many I want to play. I've got games lined up that I want to play, such as Guardians of the Galaxy. That looks awesome. Also want to play a few older games like Marvel's Spider-Man on the PlayStation, Ghost of Tsushima. I've got that on the PS5 now. So there is heaps that I want to run for at the moment. I've got a list of about 25 games that I need to play and finish. But yeah, leave a comment down below, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like. Hoping I can get back into videos soon, but I've been hectic with work and everything. Anyway, guys, peace out.